Hello, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. Welcome, Blue Jackets fans and hockey fans alike. I am your captain speaking. Welcome to the podcast, and let's dive into some hockey content. Hello, everyone. How is your Tuesday going? Hopefully well. So, we're continuing on in the series of the 3 questions for an NHL team. Today we have the Buffalo Sabres, since we're going in alphabetical order. Hopefully I don't mix up the teams and accidentally get one out of order, because it would be very bad. But here are my 3 questions for the Buffalo Sabres. Number 1. Which Taylor Hall are you getting? The Sabres signed Hall to a 1-year, $8 million deal, and it will definitely make this team interesting. However, will it help them? Hall will always be remembered for his amazing 2017-18 season, but I want to compare the rest of his career to that one season. So the 2017-18 season, 39 goals, 54 assists, 93 points in 76 games played, 1.22 points per game. And then the rest of his career, that's 9 seasons, 179 goals, 291 assists, 470 points in 551 games played, 0.85 points per game. So he's still a pretty productive offensive player. Now, I don't want anybody to think that I believe that Hall is a bad player, because I don't think he is. I think he's a very good player, especially offensively. But I think he's received a little bit too much hype for that 2017-18 season, and will probably end up being overcompensated over the course of his career because of that season. However, I do think that playing alongside Eichel, Hall will resemble more of his 2017-18 self, and that could be huge. If the Sabres could get a 80-point season at minimum out of Hall, that would drastically, I think, improve the Sabres' playoff chances. And we all know the Sabres haven't made the playoffs in, I think, 9 seasons. So, Buffalo fans, they do deserve to be able to make the playoffs because they're so dedicated, and they should be rewarded for their dedication. I think that Hall has had some seasons that are a little bit down since then, but you got to think, New Jersey was not exactly loaded with talent. Arizona offensively was not loaded with talent. So I think playing alongside Eichel, that could really be huge for him. I think he'll resemble that 2017-18 season, like I said. I think that he could probably maybe get 90 points. I don't know. I don't want to say 100, but we'll see. Who knows? If you're playing alongside Eichel, you're probably going to be able to rack up a lot of points. Now, moving on. Number 2, is there enough scoring depth on this team? This is a yes to me. Last year I would have said no, but this is a yes, major yes. And I think Sabres fans should be excited about this upcoming season. I have a lot of faith in this team's supporting cast, and that's not something I've said in a while. And as long as they're healthy, then I absolutely do feel like this team could be top 15 in goals for. Now I know that a lot of it comes down to me having a little bit too much faith. I'm a little bit too easy when it comes to a player that I really root for. I'll automatically think that they are going to just have a great season and they are going to be everything and then some. But we'll talk about this. Here's the reason that I'm optimistic for the Sabres depth pieces. Victor Olofsson. Now obviously he plays a lot with Eichel, but he is coming off of a 2-year deal, and he just signed, like I said, he just signed a 2-year deal, and he's coming off a 20-goal season. Olofsson was, I believe, a 7th round pick, so you're getting 20 goals out of a 7th round pick, not bad. I think he's going to be able to show why the Sabres had faith in him by signing him that 2-year deal when I thought it was going to be a 1-year deal. So, reason number 1, Victor Olofsson. I think that's going to be I think another 20-goal season could be in the making for Olofsson as long as he's healthy. So, along with that 2-year deal thing, he's probably going to be fine because he's got that relief of, I'm not playing on a contract here because he's got a 2-year deal. And now we have Jeff Skinner. Jeff Skinner doesn't have to be the guy anymore. He doesn't have to provide that punch that they've been looking for. But he's had 7 20-plus goal seasons in his career. And he has had 3 30-plus goal seasons in his career. I just think that Jeff Skinner, I've always been hype on. I know that he's a boomer bust type guy, and last year was not exactly a great year for him. But they've got more depth, and he doesn't have to be that guy anymore. The spotlight should pull away from him a little bit. And he can just relax and play hockey. And it's going to correlate well with a guy that I'm about to talk about next, Eric Staal. And Eric Staal and Jeff Skinner played together in Carolina, so there's some chemistry there already. Eric Staal was on pace for his 4th straight 20-plus goal season. And will play with Skinner. And like I said, they've got a lot of, chemistry from those Carolina days. It'll probably take a second to click, but they'll get it figured out. And somebody's phone's not turned off. That's all right. But I think this team has more depth, and I could see Stahl having a 20-plus goal season again. He's probably going to be their second-line center, and him and Skinner, I think that'll go well. I have high hopes for that, and I think Stahl could really have a nice year. He was traded. It was kind of an under-the-radar thing, but I think it could be huge, especially for Buffalo making the playoffs. Then we have Dylan Cousins. I am so excited to watch Dylan Cousins. If you follow the WHL, anything like that, the OHL, the QMJHL, if you follow anything like that, then it's just one of those things where you have probably heard Dylan Cousins' name, especially if you follow the WHL. He's coming off a 85-point season in 51 games played in the WHL this past year, and his past 176 games played in the WHL, he's got 222 points, good for 1.26 points per game. I don't know why I thought I got that wrong, but I just think that Cousins was drafted in the first round, and the 2019 draft, they sheltered him for a year, but it looks like they're going to have him play, and I think because of that depth, they're not going to, have to force him in a role that he's not ready for. I think that's really good that they've added this depth because it allows you to kind of shelter Cousins, and anytime you have a younger player, you don't want to put them in a spotlight they're not ready for. It usually doesn't pay off well. Obviously, he is a first-round pick, but, if you're not a top 4 or 5 guy, you need to wait a little bit usually in order to get that time where you're a top 6 forward. And then Sam Reinhart. I talked about Sam a few episodes ago. Sam Reinhart has had 4 20-plus goal seasons in 5 years, and he's an RFA, so he's got something to prove. I know I keep bouncing around saying, if you've got a deal, then, feel a little bit more relaxed, but it is usually true that the people that are RFAs or UFAs, at the end of a year, they want to perform well. They want to be able to get a nice contract, and I think Reinhart will perform well. Reinhart has been top 3 in points in each of his 5 seasons in the NHL. He's played 6, but the other one was like 1 or 2 games. But Reinhart is a very good fly-under-the-radar player. I think that he should have another 20-plus goal season. I think that this team offensively is really going to be looking pretty good. Top 15, like I said, at the end of the season, as long as everybody's healthy. And then my third question is, can the tandem of Ullmark and Hutton be enough to take the team to the playoffs? And right off the bat, I'm just going to say that if the Sabres are going to rely on this tandem to carry them there, I don't think it's going to happen. I trust Ullmark, and if he has another good season, I could see the Sabres extending him long term. But I just don't trust Hutton. He's 34. He's coming off of a really bad season. I just can't get behind it. I know he said, oh, good grief. Well, that's going to be good for you. My window curtain thing just had an aneurysm. Anyway, so he's 34. He said he said that vision problems were due to his correlated with his bad season. But I'm not sure what the sole problem is here for him. But here's his stats from last year: 12, 14, and 4 record, 3.18 goals against average, 898 save percentage, and 2 shutouts. I think that they need to trade for a decent backup goalie, but I'm not convinced they'll do it because it seems like the year they're kind of testing what this organization is going to do and how this team's going to perform. And so I just can't see them doing it. I think they should if they really want to push for a playoff spot, but who knows? We'll see what they do. I'm just not convinced Hutton's going to be the guy. Regardless, I give kudos to the Sabres organization. They went out and made some moves to get better, and I've been very vocal for years about how poorly run the Sabres have been. And, I'm going to give them credit this year. I was thinking they weren't going to make any moves. Management said they wanted to stay under the cap from what I heard. And instead they went out, they made some big moves, they made some nice trades. They called up Cousins, and I just think it's going to be really good for the Sabres to at least be in the hunt. So those are my 3 questions for the Buffalo Sabres today. Sorry for all the weird disturbances. It is, it happens. And everybody have a great Tuesday night. I will see you Thursday night, and stay safe from COVID. Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes, and hockey fans in general. This is your captain signing off. Have a great week.